recording. There we go.
Oh my God.
I
So,
won't
and
be here next week.
why not?
Maybe 2 weeks. None of your business.
Oh my goodness. Do you want me to go
No,
to the Upper Peninsula and spank you?
yeah. Well, wait a minute. Send Annette to come and spank me.
Oh,
That
look
boy.
at
She's in the center of the thing. I'm getting a colonoscopy.
Oh, have fun.
That was the rescheduled one.
You say you're having brain
Yes.
surgery?
Listen, they analyzed my brain and said I was hopeless, Cord. So they're going to let that one go.
Oh God.
You set him up like that, Barry. I can't let him go by.
My God. Annette, so tell me, what is your experience so far?
What? How my spirit is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hanging in there. So I did a little bit better in Texas, but still not like I'd like to be. But Florida, so I just don't even know what to think about Florida because I did so badly that I don't know if I should even try to do that again. I don't know if it's just this year, but I'm really like, I could have not worked and been like the same. I did 9 shows and they were all pretty awful. So for me, so I don't know. So that's my dilemma because I know that's probably coming up well before too long.
You make those really pretty spheres, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Spheres. I don't know if it's too conservative.
Annette, before I forget, do you want to keep your domain name that I got for you?
Oh, probably not, I guess, because I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot. We're trying to work on a new website, but that's slow going. So
Yeah, but you have a great name.
yeah.
Probably want to keep your domain name.
Well, he's talking about the painted balls, right?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Now I have one this website now. John's opened up another one. So I have 2. One isn't. I mean, they're really not good. My website is not good. And I have to get it, up and running to where, I don't know, people can see it better or even a commerce. I don't even have a commerce site. So
yeah, but I mean, you don't need a commerce site. You just need a way for people to contact you.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't really had. It's so weird. Like before Florida, people would contact me after a show and want to purchase something. I had nobody in Florida, nobody. So that's like didn't really sell anything, and nobody emailed me. It was like, okay, this is really weird. So, and probably I haven't heard anything from Texas either. So I don't know what's going on because before I always had, a trickle of something, and now it's like, I don't know. So it's just, I've gotten into some good shows, and now it's like, well, what's the problem? So then it's like, is it my pricing? All kinds of things going on in my head. But the people that buy, they don't, the price doesn't seem to even, it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
It could be 3 times as much and they would buy, but then there's a whole group of people that it's just way too much. But, then they're probably not my customers, I'm guessing. I don't know. That's my dilemma.
Crystal, how was Tennessee?
Oh, it was great. I saw some people post on Facebook that they didn't have a great show, so I just kind of kept silent because I didn't want to be like, oh, that sucks. I did awesome. But it was really good. I think it was a good sign that I sold reproductions, but what I was most excited about is I sold paintings at both ends of my price spectrum. So that was really nice. I didn't have enough work though, which I knew going into it. One of the paintings that I sold on the preview night They were gonna come back for it on Sunday, so I left it hanging on the wall. And I forgot to mark that it was sold, and 3 people tried to buy it, and I had nothing similar that I could have offered them. And then I was told by Tennessee standards, my customers on Sunday thought the weather was bad, and that was like why it wasn't very busy. It was like cloudy and 55, so I mean, I thought it was like a really nice spring day. I mean, in Michigan, it would have been great, but you know, they had to put on like a cardigan sweater, and so they thought it was cold, and they thought maybe that's why people weren't there.
Hey, are you kidding? I did a show, and when Nancy sat, none of you know Nancy Saturn, but she had this show, and it was 80 degrees, and I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and going, wow, it's really great, it's warm, and people in the morning were wearing long coats. So it's a matter of what you're used to.
Yeah,
Are you gonna go back next year?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I made a nice profit, even with the kind of slow turnout, so it's definitely worth going back, I think.
How'd you get around
I
that?
mean-
I thought it was only for people that in the surrounding states.
No, 4 Bridges, anyone can do it.
Oh, that's something else. Never mind.
Yeah.
I may see you there.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. And I was I had
Um,
really nice artists around me, which was good. I brought my cat to the site on Saturday and Sunday, and she did great, and people loved her. She was a great little mascot.
I may be doing an emerging artist workshop.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, nice. But not selling your own stuff? Well, I guess you
Nope.
couldn't, you'll be busy.
nope, it would be yeah, just doing the emerging artist workshop. That's still very much up in the air right now.
Yeah.
So,
Are other shows interested in NAIA coming and doing those things?
We had quite a bit of interest from the directors at the meeting in Oklahoma City.
Oh, good. So would it be like just like a 1-day boot camp?
It's going to depend upon what the show wants. We're going to do different versions, and they're all going to be customized to the show.
Cool.
I just dropped my brand new eraser on the floor, and now I got to find it.
And while he's finding it, Larry, I got a question. Do you pay money to like for Zoom?
for
Do
Zoom,
you have a pro license, for
Yeah.
Zoom?
yeah, I pay,
oh,
it's a
oh, you
yearly
do.
license.
You do. I had a discussion with a friend of mine that said I thought it was free and that they got rid of the time limitation.
Well,
And you
there is
said
no
no.
time limitation.
Hmm?
There is no time limitation.
There is. There is
Well,
on the
no,
free
your meetings
version,
can be as long as you want.
not the free version. The
I
free
don't
version is it's
know.
45 minutes and then you have to get off and then get back on.
Oh, okay.
Or at least that's the way it was. And I was saying, no, it isn't that way at all. But apparently, we can't prove that because you pay. So
Yeah.
Almost got it, Bunny.
Good Lord.
So,
I was taking some stuff out from behind it this morning and I knocked it. So, okay.
so I had
Oh.
Frank redo my website and Cascade style sheets. And I'm still tweaking it. He did it over the weekend.
Well, I finished fixing the website, redoing it, and the person that does my IT work run a report with Google. We found 4,000 errors. And I'm going like, are you kidding me? It's like a nope. Going like a He's asking, do you want to do it or you want me to do it? Hell no, you do it. I pay you. Just
4,000
Well, what do
errors.
they mean by 4,000 errors?
pages, no link, no. Let me find it. Hold a second.
No
Bro-
alt tags?
Broken links.
Broken links.
No alt tags on your images?
I'll tell you in a second. Let me find it.
Frank's been working on mine too.
400 and 404 client errors, orphans, URLs, pages with no encryption, missing H2, H1, H2, duplicate H1s, duplicate description, missing alternative text, pages link 414, heading hierarchy. Let me
Who
see.
built the website?
I built it, but it's also by Shopify. And
Oh.
then after that, you have to, that's the problem with Shopify. It's really easy to build, but if you wanted to work it efficiently, you have to have somebody go behind and fix
Right.
stuff. Because you're going to get errors. Because Shopify is not too friendly to Google. But every time I do it, I read it every time I do it. At least it's not that much money, but it's still a pretty penny. So, but we see. But it's totally
I
worth it.
got my work share done.
The video thing,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Well, now the lady that's doing the tech stuff said, "Oh, save it as a video." I saved it as a video, and the quality of my photos went to hell. And it's like, I'm not doing that.
Is this for that Artist Inc. program?
Yes.
Oh, is that the presentation that you're going to show us?
Well, if Larry will let me, if you want to see it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'd like to see
I
it.
want to see it.
What do I have to do?
Let me screen share for 5 minutes.
Okay, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Oh, here it is. No, that's not notes,
Somebody disappeared.
participant. Oh, screen share. No, that's asking me if I want to share the screen. Multiple participations can share.
That's the one you want, I think.
Okay, try it now.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. The way this presentation is set up is the slides run an automatic timer. I don't control them. They roll every 20 seconds, and there's 15 of them. So let's see. Desktop 2. All right, here we go. Photographs of front porches are a wonderful way to tell stories about rural America. They give a unique insight to its people and the lives they lead. The simple graphic elements of line, shape, the items stored on them, their decorations all tell stories about life. They do it in a way that lets our minds fill in details and personalize the story. Photographic stories are often easier for people to understand when you simplify them by removing the distractions caused by color. At the same time, it makes the art of photography more difficult. Getting the basic elements like composition, depth of field, and lighting correct are critical in the final image. Black and white photography relies heavily on graphic elements like line, shape, and texture. The hard mechanical lines in the siding are set against the soft organic texture of the grass, along with shapes and placement of the doors and windows. The combination of elements creates a story of simplicity and beauty. Sometimes the stories go from simple beauty of graphic elements to more complex stories of architecture and history. These stories show ideas, values, and tastes have changed over the years. One common change is to paint over building materials to minimize them and then later paint them to highlight them. The most common way porches tell a story is by what is or isn't on them. Items on porches can be decorative or functional or leave you scratching your head wondering why is it there. They can be everyday items, they can be unusual items, they can be left there intentionally or just something left behind. Occasionally you find a porch with something so unusual you do a double take, then turn the car around and go back to make sure it is what you think it is. These aren't part of some unusual decorations, they are just WTF items sitting out there on the porch for everyone to see and wonder about. Some porches whisper their subtle stories, while others use every available resource to shout them, like a preacher on a street corner soapbox with a megaphone. If the stories get too loud, they can be silenced, and the photos go from telling a story of what was to what is, from telling a story of what is to what was. While the stories porches tell are filled with details, they also leave their much to the imagination. Viewers use their imaginations to fill in details about why items are there, why they are arranged the way they are, and what they are used for. Porches tell a variety of stories, some intentional and others by chance. These stories can be about everyday life, about religion or politics. The story can be told with harsh reality or through a carefully curated whimsical narrative designed to fit the area and entertain people passing by. Some porches tell stories about the mundane realities of everyday life. There are no interesting items or carefully curated stories of whimsy. There's just a simple reminder of something ordinary that has to be done. These stories often change with the seasons. A lawnmower in the summer is placed with a snow shovel in the winter. There are porches that tell stories about the harsh realities of life in rural America. Stories that people in suburban and urban areas can't understand because they are so different. They have this mistaken belief that something is wrong and needs to be fixed, when it's just another way of life, one they are unfamiliar with. Political stories in rural areas tend to be strongly conservative, and in today's political climate, there are more of these stories being told in visible and sometimes dramatic ways. It also means the storyteller is sometimes harshly critiqued for telling these stories, no matter what their personal politics. These are the stories of life in rural America. They're the stories of 20% of Americans who live there. They show the other 80% that you don't have to live in a city or a suburbia to be happy, that there's more to life than HOAs, Starbucks, and the latest SUVs. My stories are told through beautiful full-tone range black and white prints that pull people into the image and into the story. I tell these stories at some of the top juried art fairs and festivals around the central US. My name is Cord Anderson, and I'm a Wichita area photographer who specializes in telling stories from rural America. You can find
Wow.
more of my stories on my website, cordanderson.com. You can reach me at cordanderson.com, cord@cordanderson.com. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my stories with you.
Court, that was spectacular.
Well, that's also the first.
I'm
That's
so
the
proud
first
of
time
you.
That's the first time I've read it.
Hey, Court, on that last slide, capitalize your first and last name, the first initial of your first and last name.
In the URL.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also in your email. I learned that from Michelle Friedman, that she said that it makes it easier to read.
Yeah.
I
didn't
thought about
know
that. I can
How
go
do
in and
you
change
feel?
that.
How do you feel, Court?
After reading it through for the first time, there's some things I need to shorten up. I was afraid these were going to be too short. and they're actually a little bit long. I just need to read it through a bunch more times, but I'm actually really happy with it.
Oh,
So-
I'm so glad.
Yeah, then you should record it and make it a video that can play without you having to narrate it.
I will. I just am really glad that I got this much at this point with it, because tonight is a practice, and then in a week I have to give it for real.
Looks good.
And I was so wrapped up with the emerging artist stuff down in Oklahoma City and getting that presentation ready. So
Thank you for sharing it with us.
You did good.
Yeah.
Yep, good job.
And now everybody that watches this Zoom meeting will see it.
All
The-
three people.
this is our final project or graduation or whatever from Artist Inc. classes. All the classes do it.
No, there's a lot of people watch these on YouTube.
Cool.
Love it.
See if I can. And now I've read it through once. I can read it through a couple more times before class and maybe do a little editing on it. And then all I have to do is practice it. And
Yeah, I
luckily
tried.
I left Photoshop open so I can go with this image open so I can go in and change it easily.
Was it difficult for you to come up with what you wanted to say?
No, I knew I wanted to talk about these images. I'm trying to do two things at once here.
You'll probably
I
have
lost-
some idiot asking you what camera and lens you use.
Yeah, what camera?
No, I
lens
wanted to
do
talk
you use?
about this, and Bonnie had the idea of putting all my personal information at the end. And
I would have put one at the beginning also.
No, I thought this was just beautiful.
well, I want it to be about the
I-
images and not about me.
Right.
I've looked at 5 or 6 of these so far, and they're all over the place, and we're free to do whatever we want. So this is what I decided to do.
This way they're going to concentrate more on what you're saying and what the images are saying. I have to tell you though, I am just so damn proud. You really hit it out of the park.
Thank you. I think I'm going to go back now and maybe edit some of these, shorten them up a little bit.
I thought the length was okay because you want to be able to look at the photos. I hate it when when it's a slideshow and it isn't long enough. So you just start looking at it and then it switches to the next one. So I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the voiceover, the text that I'm reading. I need to shorten some of those
Oh,
up
that.
so they're better synced with the slides.
Oh yeah. Well, that's practice. You'll just practice that. You'll get it down.
You can also use that as a demonstration of what a unified body of work is.
Yes.
Did you do Oklahoma City? I know you were demonstrating, but did you
No,
did you do
I
it?
didn't.
Did anybody
No.
do it?
I only know 4 or 5 artists.
And
The rest of them were all real heavy Oklahoma City based stuff because I think he ended up pulling a bunch of people in at the last minute again.
I heard that because they can't get anybody to do it.
I don't think it was that. I think it's more the weather than anything else and the length of the show.
I don't know. We used to love doing it, but that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like doing it.
Something happened a couple years before COVID that all the, you know, in the 5 or 6 years in between the 2 times I did it, it changed drastically.
Yep. I could talk about it because I did it 7 years in a row during that time that you're talking about. I don't want to talk about it. I don't, I don't want to, I'm trying not to be negative, and I can't, I can't talk about it with, it's just typical. It's just the way all the shows have gone
Well,
over.
the way it used to be laid out, there were bad spaces.
Yeah, well, there's still bad spaces, but we're talking, they have this, it's called, Festi First. And people donate or they put in their money and they get these certificates, and then they go use the certificates to buy stuff. And I did it the last year that it was really good. And then every year after that, it's probably 9 years ago. I think I haven't done it for 2 years, so I did it 7 years, 9 or 10 years ago. Every year it got less and less and less. There was a time when you'd have a whole wall of these certificates because they would show up in the morning. It used to be in the morning on the first day, the first 2 hours, like between 8 and 10 o'clock, and it was crowded. Every year it was less and less. And then the last 4 years of that whole thing, nobody showed up. I mean, it was ridiculous to even be out there. So I watched that happen from year to year to year to year.
Yeah,
It's
this
too bad.
year what they did is they rolled that to Wednesday night.
Yeah, I know. They shortened it. They cut out 2 days, or one, two, see, Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, it used to
Wednesday,
start on
Thursday,
Tuesday.
Sunday.
They cut out 2 days.
Yeah. And they extended it in an hour. They made it till 10 instead of till 9.
But I knew Sharon Spiller. I knew a painter from Oklahoma City that I'd seen over in, used to be a neighbor of mine when I did Mayfest over in Tulsa. And then Oscar, I saw Tim and John. And that was about the only people I knew.
James Cole was in there also.
And I saw Amy Flynn.
Yeah.
How'd Amy do? Anybody,
I don't know.
I saw her booth. I mean, how she displayed it.
It's
I
Some
thought
of
she did a really, I thought she did a really good job of fitting her non-traditional booth into that triangle.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought it was nice also.
the layout is what it gets me away from even thinking about doing that show. So
Actually, the layout's okay. You know what there wasn't though? They took away. It's like, why do they do this stuff? There used to be a storage area, and there was only one. There should have been 4. There was one for the whole show. So, if you had extra stock, because it's, if you know how it's laid out, it's a square that's cut into 4s. So you have 11-foot frontage, and then it goes back, goes back, and then you put your work along the V. And but there's no room for storage, so you take the storage and you put it in this tent, this huge tent that they used to have. And there was only one. It was ridiculous for 200 artists. That one storage thing. It was nuts. So in fact, one year, I couldn't get my stuff in the storage, so I just put it, on the sidewalk. I tried to make it as nice as possible, but you can't put your stuff out out in the street or out in the sidewalk. And I got criticized for that, even though there's no other place to put it. So, and I heard somebody told me they took it away. There wasn't any. So I don't know what people did, but it's
last
not
year I think
logical.
there were 2 storage tents. I know there was at least one because I was by it, and I didn't pay much attention when I was down in that area this time.
Yeah, You mean last year you were by two, or this year you were by one this year?
Last year I thought there were two. I don't know what there was this year.
I was told that there wasn't
Look.
any. I talked to somebody who did the show.
Yeah, last year I know there was one because I had stuff in it. It was on that same corner where I've been the 2 years I've done it.
Which corner, just out of curiosity? I mean, I know the show really well, so you tell me what's around it.
It's gonna be the end by the city hall end along that long edge, just almost to the corner by city hall on the long side.
Is it? Is that where? Over there.
You know where they used to have the guys doing the raku?
Yeah, over there.
That's-
That's where you were over there.
Yeah, that's where I was. I was right across from them. They've
Yeah.
moved. They're now moved down by the parking garage.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. They moved that away because that smell will kill you. Well, it permeates
but-
everything. I
Yeah,
should
but it
talk.
kept me from freezing that year.
Yeah.
I'd go over there and warm myself by their kilns.
Man, listen, I wrote a review. I did the show one year and I wrote a review on Art Fair and Cider, and it was hilarious because it was 90 degrees one day, and then the next day it was 60 degrees, and then it was 50 degrees, and then it was a perfect like 80 degrees, and then the last day it was 40 degrees and raining, and you couldn't get warm. It was just ridiculous. So
And
I
then
wrote
you
that.
take down with everything wet.
Well,
Yeah.
fortunately, you don't have to deal with a wet tent.
That's right. That's right. It's just
That's true.
yeah.
Unless you're using something to cover the front of your booth if it's raining.
Well, that's a funny thing because they instruct you to do that, but nobody does it.
I
Well,
had
wait a minute. The newbies do it. The people that have never done it before bring these plastic for the front. Nobody else bothers doing it.
I
I
had
did it last year and it saved me.
I had
Really?
clear sides for my craft hut that I would zip together across the front and open up the door for people to come in if it was raining.
Yeah. Well, there was a zipper in the front, so you could open up that zipper and pin back the the wings, so to speak, so people could come in through the into the tent.
Yeah, but if you're like a lot of photographers, they brought in 2 pro panels and set them up across the front. You can't do that because then the
Right.
opening's right where the pro panels are.
Yeah, you can't do that at all because for a lot of reasons. Because if it's raining, even and a little windy, that all that stuff's going to get wet. So really, it has to go along the back walls, the walls, to keep from getting wet.
But I had a little wheeled stand that went around my cart that I could push out and roll back in depending upon what the weather was.
I always broke stuff, because the way you had it, and then you had to pull that thing in front, and I'd be reaching up to move something and knock something over. It was every year there'd be at least one thing that I would knock over.
Because you refuse to use a ladder.
I'm a klutz. I have a ladder. It
You
doesn't
don't
matter.
use a ladder. You just want to stop in a box and just start jumping up and down, trying
No,
to.
Oscar, you'd have to be there to see that because there's not a whole lot of depth to it. You'd have to. It's hard to maneuver around.
Oh, you even do it with your normal 10.
Hey, Oscar wouldn't even be happy with that show.
I
Oh,
took
come
my
on.
big ladder. I took my big ladder and left it in the storage tent, and about half the people around me used it to close up at night or turn their lights off or anything else.
Yeah,
That was nice of you.
I did that.
Hey, what do you guys think that I'm not happy about the show? So it's just like, this weekend, I never wanted so badly a show to do well financially. Because the people, the botanical garden, they run it so well. There's not that much
Really?
communication up front, but they give you all the information that you need to know. It was easy to do, easy to get out. The only mishap that they had with me was that they forgot to turn off the water and the sprinklers.
I, I've experienced that. I know what that's about.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
was that,
no.
Oscar?
That was I never the guy came and said that I need to pay for anything. So like no, you got lucky that I do metal prints and it's waterproof.
Really? It got on your prints?
Got it. They basically it looked like somebody opened um the water and what you call that, a hose, and
And
it spread
hosed it down? Oh,
the whole
no.
booth.
Oh,
Entire booth was up and down. Even the director walks in there and look and say like that's a sprinkle.
that was an oversight. Was it the whole row that got it?
No, only me and two other booths.
Only
We set up
you.
on
Whoops.
Thursday.
We forgot to tell them to shut off the water for during the
Well,
show.
they turn off the timers for the sprinklers, but something override it and went on. So they went on Friday, turn off the water for the whole section where we are. Because
Which show was that, Oscar?
it's the Artscape. It's in the Botanical Garden in Dallas.
Well,
John
that
does it.
happened,
What?
sorry, that happened in Ann Arbor one year. And people had, I think it was during setup. And we all had things sitting on the grass. It was not pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Oscar, they came by and asked you if you had damage.
Yeah, the director and the person that runs the botanical garden came to the and told me that anything got damaged, that we had to pay you for anything that got damaged.
Wow, that's great.
That is absolutely
Yeah.
so commendable and so unusual.
It
And
is
they also-
unusual is the key word.
They also say if you didn't want to come as a weekend, they give you Father's weekend. If you don't want to come on, just come that weekend instead, and we'll put the show for those people decided to come for that weekend. And even if you did it this weekend, you can also do it again on January Father's weekend with one booth fee. They don't care. They got the space.
That's
you
great.
know, there was a couple of booths that got the water got soggy. 30 minutes later, they throw pine thing over that. Other people got gravel, and problem solved. They really know. Well, as a botanical garden, they really have a crew in there.
Oh, yeah.
They know how to take care of the grounds. But unfortunately, the weather was so bad that there was nobody there. The only day that we got a lot of people was Friday night. And that was packed for 2 hours. There was probably 3,000 people in 2 hours. So, and there was it's a boutique show. It was only like 75 artists. So,
So
Oh,
are you
that's
just,
nice.
did you just do the one show in Texas, Oscar? You got more lined up?
I got Cottonwood this weekend. That's when I'm still in Texas. I would
Good.
not, honestly, from last year, when I did Bayou City, I learned that if you come down here, the only show that I would take a shot driving just one off, it will be Fort Worth. Everything else, I need to tie it up with another
That's
show.
right. But
Everything.
there are options.
Well,
You know, after this weekend, if you don't have another show next year, you should look at doing Mayfest in Tulsa. Be on your way back.
Is that next weekend? Or 2 weekends?
It's the week after Cottonwood.
well, the weekend after Cottonwood, I'm going to. Well, yeah, the weekend after Cottonwood, I always got Rittenhouse, so I'm pretty much sure that I get into that show automatically because Robin and Carol like me, and I want to keep it that way. So they asked me why I was not doing the May show back in January, And I had to tell them that I got into our sphere, that I was going to do our sphere, and they told me, both of them told me, yeah, no doubt about it. Just had to
Yeah.
do that one. So, but I'm going to do the October show with them. That's another show that that's the problem that I have. You start doing shows that they're not the what I call the big 10, 12, and they all run really, really well. And you walk out of the show and you cannot say anything bad about the show. You know, it was not your market. And that's the way I like to walk out of the show. You know, there was nobody there, but it was because it rained, or it was not my market. You cannot say anything bad about some of the shows, and that's how I like to walk out of there, you know, because at least I know it's I did everything that I could, and they did everything that they could, and that's it. That's the end of the story. So it's a big, big contrast versus Naples downtown. That didn't one thing didn't make any sense. Even if you walk the areas in the because we got soaked on Sunday. It started raining at 3, and I mean Texas rained 3, and didn't stop until 10 o'clock in the morning. And any spot that you walk, most of it was dry, and the parts that was kind of soggy, it was because the drain was almost there, and it was drying fast. So, and the people that the tents lost, it was not because of the wind, was because the water, it was too much water for the tents. So only one idiot have only 5 pounds in each weight, but JC said that next year she's going to pay more attention to that because that's a liability for them.
Yeah, I saw some of the tents go over.
So the only one was blown out, and they came around and they told the artist that they don't want to use the tent, they will leave it in there, that they will have somebody grab it and toss it out for them, which they did. It's a, you know, it's a really well-run little thing. So, but the sale was not there, but I don't think that was their fault. So
It's a shame we actually have to make money at these things.
yeah, I know. I know. It's a shame, but it was good, you know. And but I don't when I just finished booking a couple more jobs on installations in between the shows. Probably the next day off is going to be, and it's going to get booked between now and then. It's going to be 2 days before St. Charles. So, and,
Yikes.
and
When
then
is St. Charles? What's the date? Do you know offhand? Maybe you don't know.
I never know. I only know the next show coming out, Barry. You're asking too much. 25th and 26th.
Listen, I don't know the dates of my shows either.
You know, so far my next day off, actually, take that back. I don't have no day off until Memorial Day. If I don't, because if not, I'm traveling on that, so I better enjoy these few days in here.
I wish there were more galleries that purchase the work. There, there used to be a lot, and now there's hardly any because I just did a 25-piece order. I drove 200 miles. She was really happy that I drove there. I was happy that I drove there because I didn't want to ship it. And she writes me a check, and I turn around and go home. It isn't like I had to apply, and then and then if I don't get rejected, then I have to pay a booth fee, and then I have to pay for hotel rooms and gas and all. Well, I did have to pay for gas, but it's a drag because half my business used to be galleries, and I wouldn't have to rely on art fairs, or if I didn't get in, well, so what? I have these orders to fill, so it'd be great to have both again.
Well, I'm trying to work it out that the website, art shows and installations all bring money at the same time.
Yeah.
And hopefully 10 years from now, the website will be paying enough that I can cut off the art shows, but who knows? So
I
Oh,
miss
it-
doing galleries.
Yeah, yeah.
When I took up wholesale, excuse me, I cut my shows, my art fairs in half
Me too.
and picked up just not a huge amount of wholesale, but what I could handle. And my income went up 50%.
I'm with you on that, Bonnie.
You know,
Experience the same thing.
you figure out all the expenses that go into doing a show. And yeah, all of a sudden taking the haircut on your work, which has to be priced accordingly or correctly.
Yeah,
So
I
you
used
can
to I used to lecture about that because people would go, "Oh, I have to cut my price in half." And I would say you make more money doing that because you don't have all those other expenses plus your time, you know? So you have
Well,
so the way you figure it out, you figure out your wholesale price and then you create your retail price from the wholesale price, not the other way around.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And I
If
much
you
rather
can't afford to, if you can't afford to wholesale or put it in a gallery for 50% or whatever, your price structure is wrong.
that's right.
there was a post like that about it in our first launch, I think it was, or our first reviews about making money out of selling galleries. And I go like, well, you pricing your stuff wrong then. Because it came out like a $200 profit after you take everything else, and then you divide that by 40 hours.
Yeah, I saw that.
I loved that.
6.25 an hour.
Yeah,
6.25 an hour. I thought that was
Wait,
great.
wait a minute, was that doing the art fair? It ended up being 6.25 an hour or the wholesale?
no, the wholesale. Like a
Wholesale.
Oh, wait a minute. That's so that see, this
Well,
drives me crazy. How
that's
about
just showing that it was not priced right to begin with.
well, let's look at it from the other side. Are you charging, what about your time driving to an art fair and setting up? Let's take all those hours, divide that. That's part of it. Somebody once said somebody said to me, I asked somebody how they could charge what they were charging, and I said, and it came down to he admitted that he didn't charge for his labor.
Oh,
And I said to him, only artists would not charge for their labor. Everybody else charges for their labor. Only artists, their labor's free. I mean, the thought
yeah.
they should listen. They should be made two things. They should be made to do before they do an art fair. Take a business class in college and an art class in college and an art history class, so they know where they're at.
So another question that you saw the post from Eric Clay and the
Who?
NIA,
Yeah, which one?
the one that he was talking about the jury process. Let me see.
Oh, the one where he said it's hard to do like a new body of work because,
Yes, that one.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of, yeah.
Nonsense.
No, it's not because
Yes, it is.
no, it's
No,
not.
because I did. I mean, I totally, yes, it was still jewelry, but I totally changed my work. You
Yeah.
wouldn't know it was done by the same person.
That's
And
okay.
it's just,
It's easy.
know.
It's easy if you do it in the same medium.
It's called growth.
No, let me finish. It's different when you jump from like it's a photographer that only does Florida show that he used to do paintings and switched to photography after a while.
During the show.
No,
That
during
shouldn't be
time,
allowed.
during the through a time, and you have to reset everything. You have to start over again from scratch. And even if you're trying to do something different, it doesn't fit perfectly with the body work, but you're in the fence about doing the work. You don't have no way to test it properly. And I think that my response to that was that Camille say in one of the jury process, I think last year, that she doesn't mind an artist putting a couple of pieces in one of the walls just to see how people react to the body of work.
Well, yeah,
Well,
the guild used to have
yeah.
a 10% rule.
Yeah.
What do- Okay, you can't jury in with clay and come in with paintings and bring paintings to the show. You can't do that. But you know, one has to assume that you're getting better and that you're progressing and that you're pushing your medium. So your images are basically old work. No matter what, it's old work because there's 6 months or whatever before the show. So there has to be some leeway to growth so that old work, now you have new work, and allegedly you get better, maybe not, but you would get better. So I don't believe in that strict, oh well, you didn't have this piece in your booth. Well, of course not. All the pieces in the booth were sold. I mean, so I don't get that.
Well, I had a friend of mine, the show director came up. She was in the midst of changing the types of metal that she was using in her work.
Uh-huh.
And so it was the color of the metal. And the show director came up to her booth and said, these weren't in your jury images, and
So
just gave her a really hard time. And it's like, what the heck? Because
that's a
she was
director that doesn't know
transitioning.
anything about artwork or the process and shouldn't be a director.
That was Sutton's Bay.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Thought
I
you'd
did
appreciate that.
the one year I did Sutton's Bay, I did $120 total. I'm talking to billionaires, one after another are coming into my booth. Oh, these are really nice, and then leaving. I sold 2 little pieces
How long ago was that?
before COVID. You were there. You were there. I got a picture in the art girls picture. I was in the art girls picture or the art boys. I mean, there were 2
You were
pictures.
in the art girls picture? I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Yeah, I think so. There was, me and well, the usual cast of characters that end up,
Oh,
and the
Lord.
guys that end up in the art girls, that are,
I
I mean,
don't
that
think
girls
I
are
was,
great. Who
I
wouldn't
don't
want to
think
be
I
in
was
that?
there that year.
Who wouldn't want to be in that picture? I mean, come on.
You bet.
I'm an art girl in heart.
Yes, you probably are.
So I thought I fit right in. It was great.
You say
It
so.
was it was a great group of artists, and I'm sure some people did
Yeah.
really well. You know,
I think sales have gone very much upward.
really.
Yeah.
I sold to that gallery on the corner.
Oh, the one that just sold?
It sold again?
Like
Wait,
the painted bird or something?
yeah. Wait a minute. You're talking about sold 2 years ago, hopefully, 3 years ago?
No, one just, I think the owner retired in the
Yeah, that
gallery.
was, let's see, that was
I just read it in the news from Leelanau.
oh no, that was 2 years ago. I'm making them pots. I hope they were young. This couple bought it.
Yes, it was a
That,
couple of years ago
that was, yeah.
because this I just read within the last month or so.
Well, maybe news travels slowly. It was 2 years ago.
That's what you hope.
Unless they, I don't know if they knew much about business. So it's conceivable that they took this on and they were in over their head. So it's possible that they sold it, but I was looking forward to, calling her up and saying, hey, I got pieces for you.
So what was the name of the gallery?
Hey, give me a second. I got their card here real fast.
Okay.
I'll get it. You guys entertain yourself while I'm going and looking. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
So while Larry's looking, Bonnie, do you have the old email I sent you with the calendar link?
No, I just deleted all those.
Okay, I'll send you a new one.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Frank, check,
Never even thought to keep it for that.
check the email address you have for me.
But remember, I hit return on one of them and got bounced.
That was when it was Bonnie at New Blanford.
No, he's talking about me.
I've sent Larry 3 emails that did not get through. 2 of them I started from scratch, but one was a reply, and he didn't get that one either.
Because I have no problem getting anybody else's email.
I'm glad that I'm the only person who has a problem for you, Larry. I wish I didn't, but
Or maybe you do have a problem, but you're not hearing about it because their emails aren't getting to you.
Yeah.
Well, send me an email right now and I'll tell you if it works. Oh, but you're painting.
It's called the Bayside Gallery.
No, I don't know if that was the one.
It's the one on the corner that has the the yard art in that whole front.
Oh, that's across the street. Okay, no, it's not that one.
Oh, the one across the street sold? That was a nice one, the one
Yes.
across the street.
It was, but it's going to be continued as gallery. That one with all the yard art in it,
Yeah.
I'm dying to go in there because
Oh.
it's just, if it's
It's-
that crazy outside, it must be fun inside.
It's very eclectic.
Good. I like
You know?
eclectic.
I like it. They're pretty nice. They do bikes. They rent bikes in the back. It goes
Oh.
down in the back, so there's an area, part of the store. Excuse me, has like a basement area in the back, so they rent out bikes to ride around it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Okay, they're back in there. I'm gonna get a hold of her.
Okay, so where were we? Sorry, guys.
Frank can't send me an email.
so Larry, I just opened the email that you sent this morning that I got into the event with and sent an email using that, I highlighted and it opened up with Larry Berman's email address, not the MailChimp address he
What?
sent you.
What is the email address?
It is Larry@BermanArt.com.
Yeah, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. And I
Frank,
didn't
what's
type
yours?
it. I just came straight from your email.
Frank, what's your
Sorry.
email address? Frank?
Hmm?
What's your email address?
My email address is fpiuck@cyberhenge.com. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. This time I'm gonna follow up on it. I'm gonna use you. I'm gonna give you the business.
No, thank you.
Soon as I make a couple dollars.
Okay.
Well, let him finish mine first.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of time. I'm gonna do Birmingham. I'm
Oh,
going back to Birmingham, Michigan.
Excellent.
I don't know about that, but yeah, let's hope so.
Good.
I told him, Bonnie, that he's going to sell so much that he would never apply to any of these big shows anymore.
There you go.
It's
Well,
going to apply, only going to apply to little shows that nobody else wants to do.
I
Because he will
know
be
that would be like a really good thing.
a big fish and a little pound. Everybody loves Barry. And he's going to say like I was a totally fool for ignoring this shows all these years. My ego
No.
got the best out of me.
You know, the problem
Barry.
with that, I love it.
Barry, you need to be really nice to the guild staff.
I am really nice to the guild staff. They just are looking for trouble. They miss. Let me tell you something, Bonnie. They misinterpret everything that I say. It doesn't matter.
Well,
You need to bring somebody with you, Barry, who can speak language.
I
that they
have
will
them.
react to.
I have Kristen Perkins. She interprets. She's a buffer, and Jim Reinhardt. Those two. They're my middle. They're my middle ground. And I think Bonnie might say something.
they're not staff. They're on the board.
Yeah.
It's
I hear
those
they're-
staff. We have such great staff with
Yeah.
the guild right now. I want to keep them all happy and gainfully employed with us. So be nice. And you can tell them that I told you.
I've been trying.
Tell them that I told you you had to be nice to them.
But I've been trying is slightly different than I have been.
I'd rather just do it on my own. Well, I said, Nicole's son, okay? Like I shrank, I can't reach the top of my booth to zip up my thing. So I asked him to help me put up the roof. And I made some comment like, oh, this is really great because I said something about, oh, you're tall enough, none of the girls can do it. I said, none of the girls can do it, meaning he's tall enough, he can do it. So that gets interpreted like that I said that girls aren't good enough to do anything. Women aren't good enough to do anything. I didn't say that, and I don't act like that. I mean, I'm the total opposite. I've always been,
No wonder.
So wait a minute. How would that get it misinterpreted unless you were looking for it?
I might misinterpret that.
Here's another one. Okay. Where I am, everybody has electricity and you plug into the lamppost. For some reason, our lamppost, the plug is like twice as high. So none of us bring ladders that are that tall to plug it in. So I politely go over and ask if they can bring somebody over to plug in the cord because we don't have electricity. Nothing. This is like during setup, and I'm there early during setup. Nobody does anything. The guy next to me comes and sets up, and he goes over and asks them to do something. This is later on in the afternoon. Nobody does anything. The next morning, I go over again and ask, listen, nobody did this, can you do this? Politely. The guy next to me goes over there and does the same thing. Now the show opens at 10 o'clock. As it turns out, there's buildings there. So the sun doesn't come over the buildings till 11 o'clock. So it's dark and it's 11 o'clock and they still haven't done anything. So by then I'm frustrated because you do all that driving, you make all the work, you do all the driving, there's all this tension, like, am I going to sell, am I not going to sell? So it builds up and just do it so that we don't have it easy. So then I go back over there and say, will you please, like by then I'm frustrated. So I say something. So I get blamed for asking him 4 times or whatever. Okay. That's the first day. So the next day they did the electricity. That first hour, I didn't sell a thing on that Thursday or whatever day it was, Friday, Saturday, maybe it was Friday.
Thursday.
Anyway, the next day I sold 6 pieces in that first hour with the lights and with the electricity. So what I said was valid, but no. Then I hear later on because Kristen comes up to me and says, "I heard you gave them a hard time about hey, do your job, come on." It isn't my job. Just do it.
Okay, number one, it's not their job to plug in for them
No,
Okay,
that's,
it's not their job to plug your cord in so that you have
that's not,
electricity.
it isn't my cord. It's the cord to go to the booth. That's their job. They do that with all their their
Okay,
cords.
but you know how you solve that? Get a really easy way. Bring a ladder. If it's gonna be the
No,
same
no,
issue
no, wait a
every
minute,
year-
wait a minute. We're
No,
talking about a
Bonnie,
huge,
Bonnie.
a big ladder. I
Hey,
have a
Barry,
ladder.
Barry,
Oh.
shut up. He borrowed, I tried to plug it in for him, and I was still too short even with my tall ladder. The pole that he needed to plug in, it was extra tall where it was. It was
Yes,
not normal for everybody else. If it,
but
it
they
was
know that.
somebody else pole, it would not be a big deal.
See,
I
Bonnie,
could
they
even
know
tip
that.
a toe in my ladder to that one. So
It's the
Well,
other
same,
than that,
Bonnie, it's the
just
same
he
thing
was
every
rude.
year. Okay, now you shut up, Oscar. Bonnie, it's the same thing every year.
Boys.
They know that. Come on, you know that to do that. Just do it, because it's part of write it down and so that they know. Write it
Ask,
down for next year. Make a note. Plug that in
ask if
because
it's part of, ask if you can borrow a ladder.
I'm not getting on that ladder. I'm
And-
afraid of heights.
Well, no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
getting up there that high.
No,
So
but that
get
might
the
get more action.
Can I
See, what you
pull
do,
my
Larry? Since we most likely going to have the pleasure to be next to each other again.
Oh,
We're not
no.
next. Wait a minute. We're not next to each other. You're like down the. And yes, we're gonna have the same spots.
So what
So
you
why
do,
don't
you
you
get
ask
the
her to
you
put-
get the ladder and then come and get me, and I will go and plug it in for you. Be nice.
It isn't just for me. It's everybody on our part of the street. It isn't just me.
Everybody else and not have a problem with that. It's supposed to be, for what I understand, you bring your own ladder, you plug
I
it to
have
the
my own ladder. I have two ladders. I have a short one and a tall one. I have two ladders. I have to bring 3
wasn't
ladders.
tall
now.
enough. I think that you have a step ladder and then you have a five step ladder. That's not a tall ladder. That's a regular ladder.
I'm not going to bring this up, but Ann Arbor's going to have a way worse problem, and I'm really glad that we're way far away from the university because there's a potential
Why?
for problems over there.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to happen. If you're thinking about the Hamas thing, and that's not going to happen in
I
there.
wasn't going to bring it up, but
But
I
we'll
wouldn't
see
want to do a
what's
show
going
near
on.
any college.
I gotta run, folks.
Be good,
Hey,
Court.
Court.
Catch you all
Bye.
in a week. Hey,
Have
Bonnie,
fun.
you
Yes,
got the keys tonight.
I've got the keys.
All right.
I just
Good
have
going,
to stay
Court.
awake.
Nice
Bye.
presentation.
Yes, good presentation, Court.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Good luck today. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Could be worse.
Depends
No.
on if they're sleeping in your space with tents.
Well,
Well,
talking about that, now that I remember this, I was told about the thing in Florida. It's only applied in public spaces for those sleeping in the van or public tents, and it goes effective October 1st.
yeah. But who would sleep in their van, in a parking lot with a lot of people in there? You'd want to
I-
find a remote place where nobody's around.
I do.
I was gonna say, it's kind of a matter of money.
Yeah.
For some people, there's no other option.
And now who could afford $300 a night for a hotel room?
Yeah,
It's just getting, the hotel that I just don't understand, because the hotel that I'm staying this week, it's $50 a night. And it's a nice room. I just don't get it. Then you go to someplace else, and this is Dallas. Granted, it's Richardson, North Dallas, but it's $50 a night. And
Is that the Courtyard,
no, it's
the show hotel?
no, this is the, what is the name of this place?
Oh, I stayed at an extended stay there that worked really well. And
Yeah, that's
it
a
was
bargain.
so much cheaper.
You know, Fort Worth, the Sheridan, which is 6 blocks away, it's within walking distance. It's by TCU or no, Texas A&M University. That's also that's under $100, and it's really nice. And it's not that far away. People choose to stay like on that street right next to the Main Street. The show's on Main Street, so they stay like on one of those side streets, and those are expensive. I don't understand that. When you can stay down, a few blocks away, and they have free parking down there, and it's much cheaper. I don't know why. And I wouldn't say it was empty, but there weren't a whole lot of artists staying there.
It's Wingate. It's the place that I'm staying by.
Yeah,
Oh,
those aren't bad.
Windham.
Wyndham.
Wyndham. Yeah.
good.
See you all next week.
Bye,
Okay.
Frank. You'll be hearing from me.
Bye, Frank.
Bye.
So we see. I just don't understand why some hotels in Florida cost that much money.
Because
I
they can
got-
get it. Because they can get it. They're
Yeah,
gonna charge whatever they want.
You know, it's just insane. And if I get to Coconut Grove, I think for $250 I might just drive to the airport each day and pay for a hotel room and instead of staying in the van. Because that's $250 to camping that's more money that it's a good bargain, don't get me wrong, but it's too much money
It-
to
It depends. If you stay where there's hookups, if you need a hookup, that's $250. But if you stay in the parking, the grass on the other side, it's not. It's 55 for the weekend.
yeah. But the problem with that is that you don't have a place in there where to shower.
yes.
That's right.
And I don't.
Truck stops.
Well, one of
Not
the
in Coconut Grove.
yeah.
No, you have to.
No, but you'd have to
out.
drive out. But that's the thing. See, it's a compound, and once you're in the compound, you want to stay there.
No, you kind
Well,
of get.
I used to stay out at the airport.
Yeah.
And that worked really well.
You ever stay at the Riviera when they had that?
Yeah.
on,
No,
It was the
that's
cheap
where the
hotel
artists
that
stayed. It was
walking
cheap. It was really
distance.
nice.
Yeah, I might honestly. I really consider staying because that's one show that what was it? One of the artists was telling me the best way to take the bottle gallon shower. We were just talking about the RB was you have to take 2 gallons, one to get soaked, another one to rinse.
Yeah.
So you would need at least. And she told me maybe get the portable shower, but
Yeah, the sun shower.
have you seen, I've been seeing ads on TV for this soap stuff
Mhm.
that
It-
you use in place of a bath or a shower.
Yeah. Is
And
that the
you
stuff
don't
called
have to
Stinky?
rinse- Pardon?
Is that the thing called Stinky? They're selling the stuff called Stinky.
I don't think so. But this doesn't have to be rinsed off or anything. And I thought, there would be a lot more uses for artists
Yeah.
if it actually works well. I'll pay attention to what
Are
the
you
name
talking
is.
about that whole body deodorant?
No.
No,
No, I wouldn't buy that.
this is a thing that it foams up and
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I would like to get something like that, especially because my biggest problem is after you put the 10, your hands are all dirty, and then it's time to handle the artwork, and I need to find a place to wash my hands, and sometimes that's a challenge.
Hey, at least you don't have to wash
Can you
your hair.
do handy wipes? The,
I do that.
Use your handy wipes because it dries my skin a lot in my hands.
Yeah, because it's alcohol.
Baby wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they wouldn't dry you out.
yeah.
And the Fresh Market, which you can go and use their bathroom, it's too far away.
Is
I mean, to go there and then walk back.
yeah. So, but that's something that to think about it. You know, even autographs is the same thing. They got the area to camp, but you can get in and out of there if you want to. But still, there's nothing. Once you get to the show, there's nothing. Well, they got bathrooms in there that you can clean up. You had to.
You
Can you
even
still
staying
go in that
somewhere.
convention center? Is the convention center still there?
No.
Coconut
At
Grove?
Coconut Grove?
No,
Yeah,
that's
No.
gone.
okay.
That was great when, you could go in, that was
They
central
would feed
located.
you.
They did the
Yeah.
food there. you
Yeah.
know? No, that was tore down.
Bathrooms. Well, we
That's-
stayed at a hotel maybe the first year that was right on site. But I think it all went condo.
Well, the mutiny was $50 a night for our at first when I first did it, and it was by the hour hotel. So, it wasn't and with mirrors on the ceilings. It wasn't.
Hey.
Let's put it this way: it wasn't used for staying there. But they upgraded that whole area, so every year it would get better, more expensive, and then, the last year I took kept track of it, it was 300 a night. And I'm sure now it's a lot more because Fort Myers, the hotel that right by there, it's 600 a night. So you're not staying there. So, well, you could.
Yeah.
Oscar could. He
Fort
doesn't really-
Myers is close enough that I'm, except for Friday opening, though Saturday, I would drive back to the campground because it's $600 a night or even $200 a night around there. It's too much money.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
the campground's only 45 minutes away. It isn't
Yeah.
even that far. So, yeah.
So it's not a, that's the thing that I'm looking over there. But we see. So
Well, I just realized that I have another Zoom in 2 hours. So I'm going
Mm.
to sign off.
You need a nap.
Oscar, are you gonna be there in
Yeah.
2 hours?
yep, I
Barry?
probably the
Which one is it?
core one.
Courts.
Is that the one with the 3 letters?
Yeah, B
Yeah,
back.
the
I
pack
don't-
Zoom.
Pat, wait a minute. Let me. Should if I don't have it on this, I might have it. I don't know if I accessed it from Oscar's computer or mine. So
You
I
can.
might have it. If I don't
Well-
have it, I'll get it from Oscar.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm in charge tonight, so I have big responsibilities. He's trusting me with 2 more, and then I hand it back to him.
You want a big
Okay.
turnout? Are you afraid that
Yes.
nobody's going to show up?
Well,
That's what I'd be afraid of.
a
That I would,
little.
you host the thing and nobody shows up.
That's okay. I'll go to bed early. I've got a day from hell tomorrow, so. Alrighty, see you all later.
Yep, be good.
Okay,
Thanks, Larry.
Bye.
I got to throw some pots. I got to make something.
No, you don't have to
Right
make
against the
anything.
wall.
I have to.
Why you have to break things, Barry?
Break things and start all over.
Well, you said you have to throw pots.
Yeah, throw it against the wall.
Yeah, that's what you say. You know, you have to
You
watch
know,
out.
Oscar, we should stay at Crystal's house during Ann Arbor.
Oh,
We,
no.
we don't need to ask her, we'll just show up.
Crystal, that will not happening.
It's not, oh, I'm just making a joke. But Oscar, I should get our hotel room soon.
Just let me know.
Okay.
So I need to, they're not done the parking yet, so that's always the last minute.
You were okay with where we stayed because
Yeah.
I mean it's convenient. It's just a straight shot down Main
Yeah.
Street
I
or State
Any
Street.
place around there is fine.
Where do
Yeah.
you stay?
By the
Um,
a little bit north from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, okay.
it's north of I-94.
Yeah.
Over there,
Yeah.
north of
Buffalo Wild
the
Wings.
mall.
The only place that's open after 10 o'clock at night.
Is Buffalo is food that's not edible. Oscar, we used to, did you come with us to
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you have to go in there
he's
and you have to close. You get there by 9:30, and then you have
Yeah.
to order the food right away. Then make
well
it.
no, they actually closed at 9 o'clock, but they stayed open during the air fair for us. But the guy sold it, so they might not be amenable to it. Jan, we'll find out what Jan. Jan takes care of that, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the problem with that show is that you ask the restaurant to stay open a little bit longer, or at least 2 or 3.
Hey, it's not as bad as Columbus.
Oh, I never had.
Columbus, the show's till 10 o'clock, and all the restaurants close at 9. So the chance of getting something to eat is slim and none.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why you end going to Buffalo Wild Wings 3 nights in a row.
I didn't. Oh God, I don't even want to bring. That's so funny.
Yeah, and granted, you can grab the food while you're in the booth and have a dinner before the show ends. But who wants to be eating while the
That-
show is going on?
especially
don't.
especially chicken wings. It
Well,
gets all over your fingers, and then you got to touch the work and
yeah, it's
or
just
whatever.
because you have to grab finger food. You cannot grab real meals because you won't be able to enjoy. So
Yeah, and we can't stay at Kristen's because Kristen has people staying with her every year.
no, I'm happy to pay for hotel food. That's the only show that I
know.
don't need to pay for hotel.
I know, and I'm just making jokes because I know that we're not going to do any of this stuff, and we're going to stay at the room, and it's fine.
Oh, so hopefully by then I will have money to spend in the new images.
No, you won't.
Oh yes, I will. Yes, I will. And now there's going to be a serious problem. What the hell? Oh, undo. Undo. There you go. Huh.
Hey, Crystal, where actually do you live?
Are you familiar with the Old West Side?
I'm familiar with that whole area.
Yeah, I about a year and a half ago, I bought a house on West Liberty, about a mile
Oh,
west
yeah.
of downtown in the Old West Side.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it nice? I mean, the area, over there.
Oh yeah, the area is really nice. I love my house. It's a 100-year-old craftsman bungalow, but it needs some work. I couldn't have afforded any of these houses in this neighborhood if they were, all done up the way they should be. So I've got to replace some flooring and stuff, but I really, really like it.
You're sitting in it now.
Yeah, I'm sitting in it now.
It looks nice.
Yeah. It has a beautiful backyard. Well, not a yard, just like a 2-level patio and it's all landscaped nicely and everything. I really like it. And I can
Mm.
walk downtown.
Yeah. I know where you're at. I mean, not specifically, but I could find it without GPS.
Uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
he'll
Oh,
be
come on.
looking for you.
You're going to be begging me to come and visit you. What are you talking about? You're going to need comforting after being over in the original show with all the hassling that you're going to get.
Probably.
Listen, I was over there for a long time. We had the Hare Krishnas driving us crazy, especially when they electrified. And Bruce Springsteen was really popular then, and the Hare Krishnas electrified, so they wanted to appeal to a certain group of people, so they sounded like Bruce Springsteen.
The Hare
about that.
Krishnas.
In the Diag, and it would start in the morning of Wednesday morning, and
Come
you'd get
on.
4 days. Huh?
It wasn't that bad.
This is before you were born, Oscar.
I know you're saying so, but I think not so.
Well, not really, not before you were born, but before you were doing shows.
It wasn't still not that bad. It's all in your imagination.
Yeah. What about the guy that took a dump in my booth, or in front of my booth?
Seriously?
In front of my booth on North University. You can't top that one.
Yeah, I can.
I can.
Oh,
not-
Larry,
not
let's hear
here.
your story, your fecal
Not-
matter story.
No, not a fecal story.
I heard somebody the person in, I think it was in Wall Street, that they took a poop in the middle of the tent, and then they took the poop and what you call that, crystallized all the artwork inside the booth.
Oh no.
Yep. So it was perfectly fine.
What's the point of that except
Just ruin the artwork of somebody else and don't be there.
Probably
Idiotic.
his competitor.
Yep. They said, you copy all my work, I'm going to show you now.
I
Oh my God.
love it.
That would be horrible. Seriously, that would be horrible.
So on that note,
We could tell stories.
I will see you guys next week with a little bit of help of God.
all right.
All right.
Bye.
I
Yes.
See you guys.
Hey,
Actually, she left.
Annette,
There.
you still there?
He's muted.
Yeah, I know. Ah, I'll give her a call.
Oh,
All
there
right.
he is.
But oh, there she is.
Are you leaving? I'm
Yeah.
listening. I was making
So-
dinner.
So what am I? I've been paying $30 a year for the name. Should I just drop it?
I guess I can ask John because he kind of handles all of that stuff. So let me ask him again, but before you do, when is it due? Is it?
Well, I send out invoices the beginning of April each year. So I sent you a PayPal invoice.
Oh, I didn't get anything. I don't think.
There you go.
I don't remember.
you
seeing
and
it. I don't know how I
Frank.
would pay. Huh?
You and Frank.
Don't get off until I find a pen where I can write down Frank's email address.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, you'll send it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right. I have to hurry up and throw some teapots because Bonnie's forced me to come to her thing tonight.
Yeah, courts meeting.
Which I've never done. Actually, I've never done it. I was only with Oscar and he was on, so I got on then. So the one time. The last time I saw Annette, she was behind me in her van, and we were like trying to get into into Coconut Grove.
Well, that was a nightmare, but not for everybody.
That was horrible.
It was just us and the people that came later. Well, now I know how to do it. You got to come in on that one street, but I didn't know that.
You know, I was being polite. I was actually there before anybody, and they were making us go away. They wouldn't let us pull over on the side. So that's when I went into that parking lot where I saw you, and I was polite and I waited till the time to go over there. Meanwhile, everybody else kind of showed up, and we were in the back of the bus. So
But it's the police. Like there was a problem at Fort Worth too. And
really,
it took 4 hours.
oh
Well,
no,
got there till after 10 because they didn't tell the police to block off the streets and the people just kept walking. So they wouldn't let anybody do anything until the people were done walking. And because it went till like 8, with the music.
yeah,
So we were all sitting there and I didn't know till
Really?
later that was the problem, that there was a
Really?
miscommunication with the police, that they didn't shut down.
Well, in years past, I remember packing up and everything and driving to the hotel and then walking back and the bands were still playing. So that's pretty late.
Yeah, well, some people, well, at least now I know if I ever go back.
Were you in the tent, one of the tents on Main Street, or are you on a side street?
Yeah, I was under a tent and I didn't know. I have a 9-foot tent.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have knockdown panels. I have 7-foot and then 2-foot. So I could only use 7-foot. So I had a really low ceiling in my booth, but it was panic when I got there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work.
You
How
have
are
to
we
set it
gonna
up the tent sideways.
Well, I don't have one of those. I have a light
What-
dome.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't matter,
Same on all four
yeah.
But I was kind of a panic because it was like, oh no, and good thing if my panels wouldn't have been 7-foot and 2-foot, where I just left the 2-foot off, I couldn't have set up because I couldn't. But then
Oh,
it
yeah.
rained, so it was like, we
So
had
it's
to put
9,
the top
you
up.
know, the first time I did it, I didn't realize that I had one of these that go over like this, that kind of like that arch. And I set it up straight on and it wouldn't fit in there. I didn't realize it only like the next time I did it. Well, I already knew to turn it sideways so that it goes to the
Yeah,
back.
my neighbor was doing that, and I told her she was by herself, and I said, "Oh no, you got to turn it the other way. That's not going to work." Because I was watching everybody else set theirs up, and
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't believe how short it was. And the director told me, he said he had to pay, oh God, some really ridiculous amount just to get an extra like 6 inches on the tents because they were really low.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was an interesting experience. I guess it's really well run, and
What street were you on? What row number?
it was 700s.
Oh yeah. So you're down by the music.
Yeah, not too close, but yeah, it was pretty. I felt like I had a pretty good space. I'd rather be right across from the hotel. That would have been, but I didn't stay at the hotel. We stayed somewhere else. Because I was nervous about the parking. The parking is ridiculous there. But so we stayed out so I could park the trailer somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really too far. I was only like 10 minutes away. So it wasn't.
Well, I stay at the Sheraton, like I said before, and that's about 6 blocks away, 7 blocks away, and it's not expensive. And they're allowed to use the whole Texas A&M parking lot for football games, which is huge. So the parking down there, you can just leave your vehicle there. In fact, I left my vehicle in front of the hotel. There were spaces there, and they said, yeah, you can, because it was the weekend, so you didn't have to leave. So like Saturday and Sunday, I just parked right in front of the hotel, and it was safe and everything.
It's just hard doing shows for the first year because you don't really know.
Yeah,
Didn't know
that's
what
right. You got to
sale was,
learn.
didn't know where to ask for. I didn't know where to ask for a booth. I probably should have been on 5th Street where you can put your own,
Fourth,
tent up. The one where
Fourth-
it isn't under a tent. Those
oh no,
people-
I'd rather be in the main, in the main drag, but in that either the 400 block or the 500 block.
Yeah, our block was really windy. So it was
Yeah,
really,
it's
really windy.
windier down there.
Yeah.
They always put me in the 300 block, which is the first block.
The people on the other side, we were on the less windy side of the tents. They were real. I mean, the one
Yeah.
guy had bungee cords strapping down all of his paintings because the wind was so strong, and it was kind of and it wasn't even that bad. I mean, I didn't think it was, I was expecting much more. I mean, I ended up taking all the weights off my tent because I couldn't get it in with our neighbors. It was like it didn't fit, so I didn't even really have my weights on.
Yeah,
so.
because it's that tight.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't realize it would be that crazy, but
Well, I like it because if the weather's good, it's nonstop selling from morning till night, and those shows don't exist anymore.
yeah, there were a lot of people, but I mean, just like Florida, a lot of people just walk by, they're just like chatting, they're just like there, they're
Yeah.
not necessarily buying.
So
This year,
And it was I saw a lot of prints go by, but it's the same people, there's some people that sell a lot, and those people were doing well, but it must be they have what people want.
repeat business.
Or they just have something interesting that people want.
That's why I do Ann Arbor still, because I don't really want to do Ann Arbor, but I have all this repeat business, so I got to go.
That could be. But I don't know. I'm still struggling with pricing, so I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I don't know, but I'm driving myself crazy thinking about it. So I don't have a show all of May. I didn't get into any May shows. So I have time to think about it. I guess.
right. Annette, give me a call when you figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask him tonight.
And
What do you
Barry,
want?
I'll email you Frank's.
Okay. Is that F pluck?
Yes,
You,
Okay.
PI, you,
PIUCK.
Oh, see, I thought that was an L. Okay, send it to me. I'll forget in like 2 minutes.
well, go to his website. There's a contact thing on there. Cyberhenge.
Cyberhenge. Okay. Okay, kiddies.
Okay, sir.
We'll see you all. It's always fun, kind of.
Well, you better be here then next week,
No, I won't be here.
or the week after.
Okay, I just sent you an email, Barry.
You know what? Next week is going to be whining week for why I got rejected from St. Louis. I think that comes out next Monday. So my next rejection. I haven't had a rejection in at least a couple days. No, actually,
Since I
because all the good
started
shows are already been done for a while. So.
You haven't had a rejection since I started. working with you.
Although I did get in off the wait list for Milwaukee Lakefront.
Nice.
So that sort of saved me. That's one of the better shows. It's one I like doing. It's easy to do. Drive in is easy. Drive out is easy. People are really nice. And as long as I don't get the space I had last year, I'll be really happy. Wait, even if I do get the space I had last year, it's still good. It's just not one of the better spaces. Okay, we done?
Yeah.
Okay, leave meeting. What's that? Okay. Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.